Alas, that these evil days should be mine. The young perish, the old linger. That I should live to see the last days of my house.
Hi everyone, welcome to Priority Holder, and today we'll be playing Théoden, King of Rohan in Historic Brawl. Now Théoden is a 3-mana 2/3, that whenever he or another human enters the battlefield under our control, we get to give a creature double strike until end of turn. So naturally this lends itself towards a very aggressive strategy. So we want to play a tons of impactful humans to give everything double strike. And this works really well with ones that sort of disrupt our opponent on their way down. So one really strong one is Brutal Cathar, which can like Oblivion Ring a creature when it enters. Another one is Elite Spellbinder, which can like tax a card from their hand. So we're just dishing out double strike while throwing them off their game plan. Now there's also like general human powerhouses such as Thalia's Lieutenant, which can dump a 1/1 counter on each human we control. So we have all the human payoffs. Some cards that are particularly well with Theoden are Handwear Garrison. So it's a 3-mana 2/3 that whenever it attacks, it creates 2 1/1 red human creature tokens that are tapped and attacking. So this allows us just to dish out double strike all over the place mid-combat. So very, very powerful and just takes over games really quickly. Also one with the known pedigree is Adeline, Resplendent Cathar. Also creates humans during combat and is just a very good double strike target with its huge, huge power. Another one that's just an absolute powerhouse is Horn of Gondor. We have tons of humans. This can make tons of humans and just throw double strike all over the place. And one sort of unique card that's really fun in here is Reinforced Ronin. So just with this and Théoden, it's like a 1-mana 2/2 haste double strike, but it also returns itself to hand at the beginning of each end step. So we can just keep replaying it and just keep dishing out double strikes. So this one turns out to be very, very good in this deck. So let's jump into some games. Alright, and game 1 we're up against red-green Atali. A very, very popular commander in this format. Played against Atali quite a few times across my videos. Now we keep this hand, it's actually not a 1-lander because we have Kabir takedowns backside. Though drawing that plains is super helpful. We'll see how explosive they start out with. So no turn 1 or turn 2 mana acceleration from them, so that's incredibly helpful for us. Now we're going to run out Rada's Firehand here. That way we have a 3-power attacker to hit Invasion of Gobekhan next turn potentially. Alright, Topiary Stomper is going to start ramping them. Cannot block until they have 7 lands in play, notably. So we have a tap land, so we're going to definitely Invasion of Gobekhan, try and tax them out of something. We have Portal to Phyrexia, Realmbreaker, Registar Alpha. Realmbreaker was an option to try and slow in their ramp, but they're about to play 2 dinosaurs last turn, so I figured just keep them off their blockers. And this is a very strong turn for us because we're going to flip Invasion of Gobekhan and start putting 1/1 counters on our creatures that attacked. Not to mention we can sacrifice Invasion of Gobekhan for 1-time indestructible and hexproof. Now Realmbreaker is pretty strong. It's going to help them ramp off our library. So they're almost to the requisite 7 lands for Stomper to start blocking. We're going to just try and keep hammering them though. Alright, so go ahead and play Tajik. It's going to mentor onto our other creature, so we've already slapped them down to 13 and everything's going to pick up a 1/1 counter, so we're feeling pretty good. Problem is that 7's the magic number for Atali, so here comes Atali. The thing is, us being an aggro deck instead of a mid-range deck means the hits are not as bombastic off our deck, so they get a 2/3, which is good. They have a bunch of blockers, but not as devastating as hitting like a Praetor or something off the top of the deck. Alright, AO1 would be incredible right now, except we don't have land number 4, so Théoden's coming down to punish some fools. Go ahead and give it to Rada's Firebrand. So Rada's Firebrand currently has double strike. Its attack trigger is going to stop something from blocking. Trying to figure out what to stop from blocking. Decide choosing Artificial Tactician since I feel like that's the creature they care the least about. They end up blocking with Atali. It looks like they're hoping to like rip a land and cast it right away again with Llanowar Elves, so not exactly great situation for us. It feels like things are sort of spiraling out of control, but it looks like they don't hit the land to just recast Atali, which is amazing for us, but they will be able to do next turn with all their Mana Dorks and Realmbreaker going off. Yeah, so they had a tap land. Lightning Bolt is interesting. So trying to figure out what to do and decide. It's a pretty prime time for an all attack because Tajik is going to mentor Theoden, and we have instant speed double strike thanks to Omen of the Sun. So the opponent sets up their blocks. We fire off Omen of the Sun. Can't quite kill them. Trying to figure out the best way to distribute the double strike. So I think about it for a while. End up going for Tajik because it's going to save it if we give it double strike. So Theoden is going to bite the dust here, except we can use Light Shield Array. So I decided it's worth keeping Theoden around, and so we smash in for a chunk of damage and take away a number of their blockers. So putting them all the way down to 5 life. Great Henge is tough, and then Alpha is going to give 2 more creatures plus some life plus a card. So pretty strong turn for them, except that we have Gods Willing and they have all green creatures. So I'm trying to think through it, but basically we can give pro green to something and then grant it double strike, or just give pro green and lightning bolt post combat, you know. So opponent sees the writing on the wall, and that's it. Now as we move into the next game, please twiddle the like button, comment, and subscribe. It supports the channel and helps you know what the people want. Thank you. Alright. A reasonable hand and Vencer Corpse Puppet. One I'm not super familiar with, but it's a 2-mana 1/3 lifelink, toxic 1, and every time they proliferate, they get 1 of 2 options, one of which is to make a 3/3 golem. Alright, so we're able to go turn 1 Reinforced Ronin. A card that does really good work in this deck because it's a human that we can basically infinitely recast to trigger Theoden's double strike when he's on the battlefield. Alright, so here comes Vencer. We don't have a way to deal with it, but we do have a card that's surely going to be a thorn on their side with Thalia. Though we have like the vampire themed alternate. So they pass, they miss a land drop, and we're probably taxing them out of some non-creature spells, so we're just going to go ahead and just double strike Mina Harker up and smack them. Alright, opponent has land number 3, tax in. It's unlikely they have combat tricks in there, so we go ahead and block. They just want the life gain. They cast Drowning Ichor. Now they're starting to go off a bit because they're proliferating our poison counter. They create the 3/3 off Vencer's ability, so not looking amazing. We're going to try and do some setting up here, so Hopeful Initiate's pretty nice. Decide to give it double strike. Now even though they have a solid blocker, I decide just to go for like a big sort of alpha strike here, because thanks to Rally at the Hornburg, we can give everything double strike, basically. Almost everything. And just smash in with a ton of damage. Now, Initiate's going to get training from the Reinforced Ronin. And so all of our creatures this turn have double strike. So we kill their blocker and smack them for a ton of damage. And Reinforced Ronin returns home for more double strike in the future. So they feed this one, but that's a costly removal spell. I mean, it gets rid of Theoden, but they have to lose 3 life in the process, so they can't be happy about that. Play Hanward Battlements, slam Welcoming Vampire, slam Reinforced Ronin. That's going to give something double strike. Your takedown's nice. Ronin has been doing work this game. Just, wow, been very strong in this deck. Opponent passes. They're on the defensive now. Now, move the triple speed here. I'm trying to figure out what to do. You could see me agonizing over Reinforced Ronin. Decide to go and play it. Boy, it'd be nice. Well, conscripts would have been really good. Okay, so the opponent has the counter. And they get to proliferate. And I make a misplay right here. I should bolt in response, but I was so tunnel visioned on bolting them that I missed that they're going to just get a free 3-3. So sheepishly bolt the 3-3 here, trying to make up for that mistake. We're still in like a really good spot. But yeah, that was a mistake right there. That might have just been able to end the game straight up. Ronan comes back home again. Alright, Phyrexian Flesh Gorger is nice. I mean, the lifelink would have mattered, except we have a flyer that we're just going to give double strike and put an end to this. So, opponent was mana screwed, but we took care of business. On to the next one. And we're playing Xenagos, God of Revels. Okay. Now I snap off this hand, a little bit sketchy, and I make just a game-losing mistake right from the get-go. Some reason thought I had like a command tower in hand. You could see my land is a little bit obscured, and I grab a mountain for like inexplicable reason. And so I don't even realize it till right here when I play my land. I'm like, here's where I'm horrified. Like, oh no, what did I just do? I can't cast anything. So I leave this game in to show, you know, I'm not going to take out games to make myself or the deck look better. This deck is definitely not idiot-proof, as you can see right here. I go ahead and blitz Jaxus to try and draw a land, but yeah, you can see we don't draw a land, and it's basically over. We do try and stay in it a little bit. I'm moving to triple speed here, but you could see like that mistake was pretty costly, and even if I chose the correct land, it looked unlikely to win this one, so we're on to the next one. Théoden versus Saruman, so a mortal enemy. Saruman, of course, is the one who was sort of influencing or telling Grima Wormtongue to sort of poison Saruman's mind. So this is definitely a grudge match right here. I'm hoping I can pull through for Théoden. Alright, Inquisition from them. Very strong play. I was so excited about slamming that Thalia. I mean, they're bound to have tons of non-creature spells. They're in the controlling colors, you know, in like a 6-mana commander, so Thalia would have been backbreaking for them. But they take care of it, and they slam their first ramp piece. Now, we have Coppercoat Vanguard, which is a super strong human lord. It grants them +1/+0 and ward 1. An absolute powerhouse in this deck. Very careful to grab the correct land this time. Wanting to make sure we ensure double white since we had double red lockdown. Narset. Not the strongest card against our deck. We're not usually drawing a ton. It is good against Seasoned Pyromancer. Insanely good, actually. Divest. And they take our Ember Cleave. We were hoping to use that to dominate them. Think about this turn for a bit, but decide just to slam Théoden. Give something double strike. We are going to kill Narset. We don't want them to get another draw off her, potentially. I mean, they already picked up a removal spell off her, so it is a little bit overkill on the Narset. But we just spread out double strike on each and deal them at least 6 damage to the face. So we're already, you know, smashing face, which is what this deck's designed to do. So we're feeling pretty good. Replicating Ring comes down. They don't pay, so we get a card draw. Go for the throat on Théoden. Théoden bites the dust. And that ward is already doing some work. Like, we're just taxing them so much for their mana. Henwar Battlements. And I think... So I missed lethal right here. I wasn't thinking correctly. I was so tunnel visioned on giving something double strike that I missed the fact that we could play Combat Celebrant, haste it with battlements, give ourselves a second combat, and our creatures would just get the job done on the second combat. So missed lethal right there and immediately pay for it with Shatter the Sky from them. So that hurts. Here comes Theoden, already 7 mana, a little painful. Now I finally see the Combat Celebrant haste line right here, and I'm excited and I'm about to exert it, but then I realize it doesn't grant itself the extra combat. And so you could see me trying to figure out how to undo that, so we can hopefully have it next turn. I didn't want to exert it for no value, so that's pretty unfortunate. But we're in a commanding lead right now. Shieldred comes down. That's actually tough because that's going to edict away our combat Celebrant. However, we have an opponent on the ropes. They're at 3 life. We have Haste Enabler. So try and get a little fancy right here. I want to cast Seasoned Pyromancer, and in response to its discard trigger, cast Omen of the Sun, just to get maximum tokens out there. So you can see me holding full control and make sure I didn't blast through that. It is unfortunate to discard God's Willing, because that is like a way to slip through their defenses easily. But at this point, just trying to go wide, and having like on-demand haste seems pretty strong. But opponent just slammed Saruman. They're just purely on the defensive right here. Brutal Cathar. Just an amazing draw right there. We're just going to take away one of their blockers, and they just simply, unless they have a one-man removal spell, they won't have enough to deal with this, and we win this one. So, score 1 for Théoden. That is a book-accurate game right there. Alright, next we fight the Scarab God. Mulligan that one because we didn't have any white sources. This hand looks much better. Question is what to send back. Oh wait, no, we get a free mulligan. Sorry. We're good. So we play the 1 mana 2/1. It is nice to hold it back and grant something like possible indestructible, but it's also nice to beat down for 2 damage on turn 2. So we're all aggro all the time with this deck. Heartfire Immolator. We're not going to trigger prowess with it too much in this deck, but it's nice to be able to sacrifice it and sort of deal damage to something in a pinch. Null Priest of Oblivion. Great early blocker for them because it has lifelink. Tap land is a little bit tough, but we have Robber of the Rich. And we know they're going to block Robber here. Like, it would be nice to keep it around, but this, you know, gets in a chunk of damage and takes away their really good blocker. So, all right, Liliana of the Veil. Presumably it's going to minus. I mean, they're under assault right here.
Nobody knows Dominaria's shadows like me.
So they minus. I mean, we're only losing a 2-power creature. So here's the question: is do you run out Théoden or Tajik? And I decide to run out Théoden here because Theoden can grant double strike right now. I mean, we're just going to cut down Liliana, so like we're not getting a ton of value off the double strike. But if Theoden survives, then Tajik is going to come down next turn with double strike and really hammer out a ton of damage. Plus, with its mentor trigger, just let us go wild. There is an argument to playing Giant Killer, but we know at least it works on the Scarab God, so that's why I'm holding it back here. And it's better to like save it when you can like really make use of the double strike. So here comes Tajik, and it did survive, it doesn't get countered, so we're just gonna like massacre them. Give Tajik himself double strike, and gonna mentor someone. Decided to mentor the Immolator because Theoden's probably just like a removal magnet, so we smacked them down to 10, and opponent's already seen enough, and they were definitely dead next turn. So on to the next one. It's fun how brisk these aggro decks are, just mowing people down so merrily. And this is a great hand, very disruptive aggro hand. Snarl's pretty good with the decent amount of basics, so allows us to hold up Lightning Bolt. Let's see if we end up using it. Yeah, turn 2 Mana Dork, definitely going to get rid of that so we don't have Questing Beast come down a turn early. So that was nice. Opponent is not happy about that. Alright, play 10th District Legionnaire and smack them. This is just a satisfying strategy to play. Let's see what they play. No plays. So, really disrupted their plan right there by killing their Mana Dork. Trying to figure out what to play. Nothing else is going to be able to attack, so we just go in with the Legionnaire. And it seems like Hanwar Garrison has the highest upside, and green is just going to have a hard time dealing with it. Like, they'd have to play something big enough and fight it next turn. And Garrison's going to just dump out so many humans. It's basically one of the best cards in this deck. And they opt for just a 3/4 sort of Death Touch fun kind of thing, which we are just not going to allow. We are just going to get rid of it with Brutal Cathar and just smash in for a ton of damage. And it puts in attacking humans also, so it is just filthy. With Theoden out, they The new humans trigger like double strike and everything, so it is just a massacre. So opponent finally plays Questing Beast their turn 5, but this feels like a just kill them kind of turn. So we have the powerhouse in humans, Thalia's Lieutenant, which is just, you know, it's going to casually put a 1/1 counter on each of our creatures. And we're going to smash in and get the full discount on Embercleave. So opponent is on the ropes already, and they're carefully choosing their blocks, and we're just going to massacre them right here with Embercleave. So this is just good, clean magic right here. I mean, look at this. Just a casual turn 5 kill through multiple blockers. Don't mind if we do. And that's a win. Alright, so that's Théoden, King of Rohan, and wow, what a run of games. We went 5-1, and we're just massacring people along the way. So this is just a super fun deck. I love aggressive strategies like this, and this is the kind of deck that's only going to get better because humans are like the most popular tribe in Magic. So as we get more good ones, we're just going to keep upgrading slots in this deck. And I'm not exactly sure how this will translate to multiplayer Commander. Think you'll need to like some more cards that like spew out a ton of tokens at once. But anyway, I think this is just super fun, super powerful, and I encourage you to try it out. But yeah, let me know in the comments who are your favorite humans to play. Anyways, thank you for watching, and hope you have a wonderful day.